Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Yak Gadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs, go to eastport.info. Now let's get this show started.
What's up, guys?
Let's get this show started.
Hey, I was kind of like put off by that. Well, I not put off. I was just surprised by the new intro. I was expecting the old one.
Yeah, sounds good. It's
Yeah,
not
that sounds
drowning out the voice, Brian's voice, like the
Yeah.
music. How loud
Yep.
it was. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Brian. Oh, speaking of, tonight we have epic OGs. Brian the Killer Schiller and Jay the Face Randall.
What up, yo?
And Jay, it's your first time on our show, isn't it?
I think so, huh?
No, he's been on before. I think he's talked with us
early on.
Yeah, early on. I think he did an episode or two during our favorite baits one where every bunch of people came on. I think Jay joined us then.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
And
every day's the same.
Because Jay and I repetitively talked about how much we like white swim baits. Like everybody's.
Oh, dude, I love white swim baits.
Sounds about right. You guys are racist.
Oh, I almost cursed. That's messed up.
Yeah. You're putting us in a bad corner here, Brian.
Yeah, dude.
Like, not fair.
Well, this episode, we are going to be talking about drones. I've never actually seen one in person. I've seen them on videos. So I don't really know the basic functions of a drone. So I figured it'd be a good episode to learn.
Brad's so sheltered.
Hey, man, I mean, it's either that or I have friends who are poor.
Well, it's intimidating, right? Like, I remember Jay got his before I got mine, and I'm like, man, how hard is it to fly that thing? Because, like, especially when fishing is involved, because you're like worried that you're going to crash your drone into the water, and then there goes a few hundred bones, you know? Yeah. So it's actually a lot easier than you would think.
Yeah, sometimes.
I've seen videos of Greg Blanchard. He dropping his in the water and going swimming for it. I'm like, oh yeah, I would cry.
Jay did that once down at Dale Hollow.
Did you lose it?
No, it was only in like, I don't know, a few inches of water, but it was submerged, and it was there a little longer than I wanted it to be.
Yeah. So they're like water resistant, or?
I think I got lucky, to be honest. I mean, the lights were still on while it was underneath the water. So I immediately removed the battery and turned it off and shook it it got sand in it too. So it got a little jacked up, but it works fine now. I mean, no problems.
Yeah, we filmed a couple things with that since that happened, and all the footage is totally fine on it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, DJI makes some pretty tough drones.
Yeah.
Those things
They make some quality products anyway, because I've used some of their gimbals and stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with those.
Well, I think people don't realize like how resilient a drone actually can be.
Mm.
So, I mean, those things are made so they already know you're going to crash them. So, like the props or the propellers those are like breakaway, and they have all these other like parts you can like just replace back. I've only had a problem with the prop once.
Yeah,
I haven't had a problem yet, but I know they send extra prop blades just for that instance. You know, I know when I was looking and doing research on them, Casey Neistat, I love following him on YouTube because he's just super creative, and he's like one of the first ones that like really started incorporating drone footage in his daily vlogs and stuff like that. So he's done some pretty extensive reviews on them, and like with, for instance, like DJI, and then there was one other company, I think, they always send him drones before they get released, and he tests them out and kind of puts them through the paces, man. So that's, first and foremost, I would say that's a good starting point, is like, just go and read and watch a bunch of reviews on all these things before you actually go ahead and purchase them, because they all do different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, with the popularity increasing too. I mean, our buddy Dylan has one. I know several people that I'm friends with that have them. That so ask around if you guys are interested in buying them. Try them out. You may see that you don't have to go top of the line. I mean, for being kayak anglers, I think the ones that you guys have are a really good choice to make because of the portability. And the limited amount of space. I mean, these drones get huge, and when you're looking at some of those top tier DJI ones, dude, they're big. They take up a ton of room.
Yeah, I mean, like for a long time, like that's all there was, is like the big, really expensive drones. Like I think the Phantom was originally like $2,000, $1,800,
Jeez.
and now they're on like the Phantom 2 or 3. But I mean, and that's just in the DJI family. But DJI kind of got smart where they're like, we can make more budget friendly drones. Plus, I'm sure we'll talk about it, FCC regulations with drones and things like that. Like, for instance, like Jay, you had to register yours, right? FCC.
Well, I didn't have to, I guess, because of the weight and being like a novice at it. I mean, I did anyway, but there's like a weight limit in the States.
Yours is over it though, ain't it?
I think it's just under it, but I did register it either way.
Because I think it's 250 grams. If it weighs over 250 grams, it's got to be registered with the FCC, and that's part of the reason why I went with the Mavic Mini, is because they made it 249 grams.
Mine's 300.
Yeah, so you had to. Yeah. So that was kind of their way to curb that, because like when the FCC came out with those regulations, like there was a lot of hee-haw all over it, because it's not like cinematographers out flying these little things, trying to get shots for movies. It's a lot of like YouTubers and content creators, and so that was kind of their way to kind of beat the system, so to speak. So they came out with that Mavic Air, and it's 249 grams, and you don't need to be registered with the FCC. You don't need a drone license or any of that stuff. So that was like one of the huge pluses when I bought mine.
Well, so what's the point of registering them?
Like, so it's interesting because like when all these drones sync up to your phone, and a lot of times there's an app running in the background, and it'll show you like if you're close to an airport, there's like no fly zones and stuff, which you should still abide by if you have like something that's under 250 grams. But if I think there's like a chip or something in it, Jay might know more about this than I do. And there's actually it could be picked up by radar and things like that. So if you're doing some not so right stuff, you could potentially get busted by them for doing that crap, and be fined, ticketed, potentially thrown in jail, like if you're flying in an airport. And it screws up air traffic control. I mean, you're putting a lot of people's lives at risk. So like when like your controller usually has like a mount on it for your phone, and then it connects into the remote, and just like TurnEX, right? TurnEX uses location services. Drones do the same thing, and they'll tell you if you're in like a no-fly zone or close to it, and it'll actually show up on a map and show you. Yours does the same thing, right, Jay?
Yeah,
with the no-fly stuff.
Yeah, and then to Brian's point, like so basically anytime you take flight, it's getting tracked.
Yeah, gotcha.
So if anything goes awry, or I don't know how deep it goes in terms of flying over 400 feet like you're not supposed to, or something like that. But if something, if you're like making a video and you're clearly showing you are going over that, and you're maybe talking about it, like I've seen videos where guys have gotten dinged by the FCC like after they've made a video for doing something they did in the video.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that goes for like flying in like no fly zones, like by national parks and stuff like that. Like not all of them I think are like that, but I mean there's certain stipulations. Like if they have a lot of waterfowl or just a lot of birds in general, or whatever.
I forget what the deal was with the national parks, because I remember seeing a YouTuber got dinged with a $10,000 fine for flying a drone in a national park. But I think they have since changed that. Like, if you're flying it in the national park and you're using it in a video that you're not getting paid from, then it's okay. But if you have a YouTube channel and you get like paid sponsors, and I think you can't even run AdSense in it. Otherwise, you can get dinged with a fine without having a permit to fly it in that national park.
Oh.
It's goofy. Like there's a lot of rules on it, and like you guys should like if anybody's out there looking to get a drone, just kind of read up on some of the rules. Like you could just Google search like flying rules for drones. And like that's probably the easiest thing to do. There are a few, but like, and I think we're kind of making it sound way more complicated than it is.
Yeah,
it's really not that bad. You just got to watch it around airports and national parks and any place that might have some signage about like not flying aerial cameras or whatever it may be,
or military facility.
Yeah. I wouldn't fly around the military base.
Outside, drone just explode.
If you're planning a trip to Nevada and going over to Area 51, probably wouldn't suggest.
We just want to know if we're alone or not.
Well, I think the point we're trying to make is that just like anything, there's rules and regulations.
Get educated. Just get educated.
Yeah.
I don't know if
it's a ton of fun, and I'll tell you what, like there is nothing that makes video content 100 times better than aerial shots. Like, because the gimbals and stuff that come on these things, even the cheaper ones now, it's just amazingly smooth.
Yeah,
I agree.
You get up and away out of the boat, you can see a lot more. You can see a lot more landscape. Like that's my biggest draw on it, is just when you get good landscape shots and it gives you an idea of where these people, the anglers are, or whoever's making the content. It just makes it much more enjoyable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of these drones have settings where you can go in cinematic mode, so it gives you that nice, slow, even pan shot. Sport mode will make you go super fast and everything else. And then there's what is it called? Program mode or auto mode or something, I think, Jay. But the one thing I was going to say too, like you want to talk about like scouting water. Like if I've done it a couple times, like being at a boat ramp and launching the drone to go check out water. Now, one thing I will say, because like Jay and I, obviously we're both hunters and we've talked about this, like using drones to scout deer and waterfowl and stuff. You can't do it if it's in season. So like, before the waterfowl season opened down here, instead of hiking back, this is like how fat and lazy I am. Instead of hiking back a half a mile to look at a pond, I pulled in the parking lot and flew my drone over it to see if there was birds in it, for duck season. So it's kind of, there was actually, in the one spot. Did you get some? I ended up not hunting that spot and went to a different one, and I got birds there.
You need to attach a gun to that thing, dude.
but you can't use it to actively like track down and hunt deer. You can use it though. I think I read, and it depends from state to state, but I think in the state of Wisconsin, if you're trying to find a deer that you shot, you can use it.
You can't.
And I think Illinois is the same way too.
Yeah.
I actually said it to Brian one day. He couldn't find his deer. I'm like, "Yeah, you're drunk."
Yeah,
Forget your
and
drone.
I actually flew it up. Yeah, I flew it up. But yeah, so there's some things too. You know, a lot of fishermen are hunters, hunters are fishermen. So
Yeah.
just wanted to throw that out there. But
Well, I wanted to further to back up that point that I think I remember seeing some kind of video or something about KVD, and before tournaments, he'll actually hire a helicopter
Mhm.
and go out there and fly over the lakes. And then I don't know how he waypoints or what he does beyond that, but he'll look at points of interest for himself before he even fishes the water.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure I saw that.
I mean, aerial view, man, that could tell you a lot. It's like looking at Google Maps or something, right? Like, especially if you got clear water and you're looking for underwater structure, like that's huge, you know. Or you know, like looking when the water's down, flying it over a body of water instead of putting your boat in the water and having to go out there and, you know, cruise to all these different spots to fly out a drone and see, you know, underwater structure before the water levels go up. I mean, that plays more of a role for the folks down south in the reservoir areas, you know, than it does up here. But it could be a pretty cool essential tool. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
People search their own land too, with them, you know,
Yeah.
in case they got trespassers or something. And I just saw a video too of this person was running through the woods, and this guy had a drone. He kept flying by, and there was a bear chasing the guy.
Oh, jeez.
He flies past the bear, and the bear stops, and it's like, what the hell is that thing? You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's like, I have a trespasser, and he's like, no, dude, just run for your life.
Yeah,
I got a microphone,
this.
a speaker, keep running. He's still behind you.
Jeez.
That's funny.
So yeah, I want to get into the specs of each of your guys'. So I was going to have Jay talk about his for a few minutes, and then Brian talk about his. But you want to start, Jay, with what model you have? What brand and model?
So I got the DJI Spark. I kind of went low end because I didn't know if I was going to having a drone. Didn't want to sink a bunch of money into it because it's real easy. So being a fisherman, just to put that in perspective, and we can talk about it a little bit. And I put a link up there in the private chat, Brad. But there's these waterproof drones that are specifically for water. And I know, and as fishermen, you're going to be having these drones that aren't for water per se. So that's something to think about. But no, I mean, I just like after doing some research and listening to some friends, the Spark just seemed I don't know, the more likely option for me to at least take. They didn't have the one that Brian has out yet. I tend to like his better because his camera's better, and he's got the full back, wings or arms or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I think what is it? It's the camera. I forgot what the camera is on this thing. I know it's not a 4K. I think it goes
1080.
Yeah, definitely. It does 1080, but it also does. What's that other one that's right above?
2.7.
Yeah, it can do 2.7 as well. But I'm pretty sure it can. Yeah. So anyway, I don't like I said. I mean, I'm not going to be heavy on the specs without looking them up myself and sound like a moron. But I mean, for what it is, you get great video. The connectivity is pretty good for the most part. It gets a little jerky sometimes. I think that's we can talk about that a little bit too. But I think as you go up in retail price, you're going to get better everything that comes with that, better connectivity, smoother movement, and all that. But that being said, it's just like anything. You got to learn limitations of your tool.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of work within it from there. And there's little tricks to make more cinematic type shots with a more low end. And I'll say that even for a Spark, low end drone. I mean, I don't know. There's still, like I said, I mean, even on the basic settings, you still get some great shots. I mean, you know, if you get the right lighting and everything, man, I mean, it looks just great.
I mean, right here it says 12 megapixel.
Yeah,
That's for
Yeah,
the
for the
still
camera.
camera, I
that's
think.
for the camera.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, 20. Well, never
Oh,
mind.
it only goes
There it is.
1920 by 1080.
Which I mean, heck, that's still really good.
It's super crisp
Yeah.
and clean.
Yeah. No, that's cool. The other thing I saw that caught my eye, man, 31 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, in sport mode.
It's in sport mode, yeah.
It cruises,
Wow.
dude.
Yeah.
It screams.
I've seen those videos of guys running obstacle courses with them. I'm like, holy crap.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like, you know what? Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can't do it this one, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know how people can do that.
I think a lot of that is done with VR, like they're wearing VR goggles and stuff.
And they're doing it upside down, and like, I mean, your dimensional. Oh man, what would that even be called? Like acuity.
That would be called skills, bro.
Yeah, your dimensional acuity. It's a new one. Like, everybody can take that. But I mean, just like the accuracy that these guys fly at, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
You know?
it is pretty cool.
But yeah, so when mine flies in sport modes, that's a difference too. The camera locks, then it'll actually turn just like a fighter jet.
Yeah.
But then, like, when you put it into like the regular mode, the camera can move freely and do its thing. But it still flies pretty decent. I mean, even at that speed.
Is that all you have, Jay? Is just sport mode and regular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, again, mine's pretty limited, right? It's you know, and I thought I had that 2.7K. Like, I know there's a way. I think what it is. I was thinking about is there's a way to cheat that with post editing from it.
Yeah.
I think is what I was thinking. But
there's a few ways to do that post for sure.
But I mean, you know, like, again, it's a limited drone, but it's basically bulletproof. You can abuse those things. I mean, people have done a lot worse than throw them in water, and they still work. I don't really hear a lot about drones, you know, getting jacked up, or at least the sparks, just because it's just more of a solid unit, you know.
Yeah.
What's the price on that?
I think I got a really good deal on mine. I got the Fly More pack. And I want to say I was around like $400 or something. That's not normal though. Like,
I think normally it's like around $750. I want to say
that's still not bad. Like, compared to others I've seen, a couple thousand.
Oh well, yeah.
But I've probably been looking at the wrong ones.
Those are you're looking at super expensive stuff.
Yeah. And dude, those are the ones that are big, Brad. Like, they're huge.
I gotcha.
Yeah, that's probably like a Mavic. Mavic starts out at like a G Note.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
what's that?
No, sorry. I was going to say I was trying to find, just even on Amazon, to find like some pricing, but
yeah, I tried typing it up in my web browser. Nothing came up under shopping, so I'll have to check.
They might have discontinued the Spark because the Air,
probably
the Mavic Air probably replaced it.
And DJI is like one of those companies too. They keep innovating, they keep improving upon it. So
they're like GoPro.
They'll have exactly. They'll have really good pricing on stuff when they're getting ready to release the new one, or, you know, shortly thereafter. I mean, it's like kind of how I got the Hero 8s, is because the 9 was getting ready to come out in a month or two, and they put pretty significant discounts on the cameras, and so they're always changing it up, making it better. That's what's cool about technology. You know, it's always improving. The cameras get better and better, and you know, they figure out something, you know, that makes it smoother, so you can get some really good prices, especially around like Christmas time, you know.
Yeah,
that kind of draws into, I guess we can jump into mine. So I got the Mavic Mini, and that's the first gen. But when I bought it, I think the Mavic Mini 2 was out, and I think now they have a 3, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think I saw a 3 when I was typing it in.
Yeah, so I got the first gen, but when I bought that, I bought it off of Amazon, and I was like, man, this deal is too good to be true. And I got it for $300 with the Fly More package.
Nice.
And normally it's like $650, $700. But what I didn't realize until I had some issues with it getting shipped. Like, said it would be here Saturday, and then like Tuesday came, it still wasn't here. Still hadn't shown shipped, and like I called Amazon, and I was like going back and forth with them. Well, what I got was a refurbished one, and you can find those on Amazon. And I was like, oh crap. And I'm like, whatever, man. Like, if I miss out, it's $300, right? Like, not the worst thing in the world. I mean, don't get me wrong, $300 is a nice chunk of change, but I got it. I've had zero issues with it, and it, you know, going back to like flying a drone, like that Mavic Mini, they made it super user friendly. So like Jay said, it's got sport mode, it's got the preset mode, and then it's also got a cinematic mode. And then mine will shoot up to 2.7K for video, but like that 2.7K is pretty crisp. Like at that point, you're almost at 4K. Like 4K is so clean. And a lot of folks, like, I don't think a lot of people realize it, but a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff, they may be shot in 4K, but when they actually get rendered in post, they actually get rendered at 1080.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
And that's because like to render a 4K video, it's like 5 times the file space, and it takes 5 times as long to render. So like I've utilized that where I've shot in 2.7K and then just rendered in 1080, and that video is nice, crisp, and clean. But one cool thing that they did with that is in the app while you're flying, like they got a couple like presets. I'll see if I could pull up the video here, but there's like some presets where you can go fly up into the air, and you go to one of these presets and you can click on an image. And for instance, this video clip, once I find it, I clicked on the boat, and it'll do like an automatic full circle around you with that boat still staying in the view. Or there's one where it kind of like flies up and backwards away from you and stuff like that. It's kind of cool, like extra cinematic stuff that it'll automatically do if you've never actually like flown something like that. Here
I want to say that the Spark has that within the app. You can do that too. You can do like a hand motion. You can have it. You can set it off to the side behind you in every direction, and then set it to follow you. So I mean, the Spark does all that stuff too. I don't want to downplay it, but Brian's definitely has got like a lot more fine tuning options.
See, this is like the up and away shot, which is pretty cool. Like if you have it set up and then all of a sudden your background comes into play, like that's pretty cool. I can pull up
Is that a feature where the drone's just sitting there and just zooming out, or is it moving?
No, the actual drone is moving. It's actually flying up and back. Let me see.
Yeah, those cameras are good, but they are not able to focus in and out like at extremes. Like
so they don't have much of a zoom on them.
They have some, but I don't think it's probably more of a focus zoom. Like for the ability to be able to do that you'd have to be able to move a lens like quite a distance if you ever shot like with a digital SLR.
That's usually a drone carrying like a like straight up legit camera.
But it's cool that it's got the ability, like, because this is kind of was going to be my question is how it can basically target lock you. You know what I mean? So Brian, as you're looking through your phone or whatever screen that you're using, and it's touch screen, I assume. So was it give you basically like a box around whatever object you're wanting to stay focused on?
Yeah. So like in this video playing, like my old man standing on the front of the boat. So it's actually on your phone screen. So I actually like clicked on him and it highlights a box, and then it'll give you like a cue. Is this the target you're looking for? And you just click confirm, and then you hit go, and it'll do that. So like that whole roundabout cinematic effect, that was just a precursor in the actual app, because your remote's in your hand and your phone's above that, so that way you can see what you're shooting. But and then it also gives you all those different things, and then there's like a control on the remote, so you can angle the camera either down or up. I don't think left and right is on a toggle on the controller and things like that. So
That's cool.
it's super easy. Like I thought, like and again, like this is when I knew nothing, but like I thought when you flew a drone, it was like a remote control helicopter where you had to like constantly like be pushing up so it elevates, and that when you're flying a drone, like there's a takeoff button and it automatically goes up and hovers like 4 feet off the ground. You don't even have to be touching the remote, and then you can like fly it up or forward or back. And then if you take your hands off the control, the drone just hovers where it's at. So
That's
it's
cool.
like super easy. You know what I mean? Because I thought you had to like control that thing like super hardcore the whole time, and it's really not. It's so like, I call it Brian proof, but idiot proof. That like anybody can really do it. Like one of my nephews has flown my drone before because I knew. And I mean, the biggest thing, which when Jay was talking about his drone going in the water, is you got to watch out for trees.
Yeah,
Because like those will jump out at you. But,
and when you're talking about that, it's like when you're looking, when it's sunny out and you're looking at your phone.
Yeah,
you got that nasty glare.
Yeah,
like that's where I got lost in the branches.
Yeah, that's super easy to do. Or the glare in the camera, like coming through the camera, and you can't really see. So like you got to kind of be conscious of where the sun is at and which way it's coming in. But you pay attention to that, you can get some pretty rad shots, like with reflections and things like that. But you got to definitely pay attention where you're going. But like I remember when I was looking into that drone, when I saw it and saw the price, and I started really diving into what it could do. There was a guy in like Utah or something in the desert, and he flew that thing like almost 3 miles away from him.
wow.
Maybe it was even 5. It was something stupid. But that's the thing too. Like when you talk about drones, like battery life is huge. Whereas like Jay, what do you get? Like
I get 15 minutes.
You get 15, and I think
Really?
I get like I get
he gets 30 or 25 or 30.
Yeah, it's like 20 something. I forget what it is exactly, but I get about 20 minutes of flight. And it all depends too on like how fast you're moving, how far away you are, how much power is being drained by the actual drone itself. But like I've actually like sat in my front driveway when I first got it, and I flew it up, and I flew it over to the gas station, like just to see what my range was and stuff like that.
Did you get coffee with it?
I didn't, dude, but I need to talk to the folks over there. Like, let me fly my drone over, hook a cup, and I'll fly it back home. Just attach $2 to the little clothespin dangling. That'd be pretty sweet. But I mean, I've gone some distance with mine. If I had to guess, I've probably gone like, I don't know, maybe half a mile at most.
Yeah.
With mine, like flying. But
so
Go ahead.
You go ahead. Oh, I was just going to ask, when the battery gets low, what happens? Does it land itself somewhere or what?
Just falls out of the sky.
Does it really?
Like this?
No, they have settings like so.
Yeah.
Within the application, you can set it for at 20%, 10% return home.
Okay.
And that'll be from where you took off.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Oh, that's an interesting question too.
Yeah, that's why it's super important to have like it synced up and your location services on, because if you do lose signal, it will return back. But I know mine starts beeping and like basically it's really annoying when the battery's running low.
Yeah.
And an alarm will start going off and let you know like, hey, it's the alarm will go off when they know like, all right, he's X amount of feet or quarters of miles away from home where the drone took off. So like if it knows like it's only got enough juice to get back to home, then it'll start saying, you don't have enough power left, start returning to home.
Mm-hmm.
So, virtually, like if you were to put in a fully charged battery, fly it up in the air, and start flying away from you as far as it could go, when it gets to that point where it's either got to turn around or it's landing, or you'll run out of juice before it returns, that's when it'll start beeping at you. Like it'll start beeping at you when you got 50% juice, because you need that other 50% to get back.
Gotcha.
So
when you're on the water on a kayak, we get blown around quite a bit. What happens? Where, like, hit the home button, what happens?
You don't do that.
Do you set it when you're on the bank? Set home when you're on the bank?
Nope. So it'll automatically record where you're launching from. Mm-hmm. But as you're pointing out, you're moving. If you're in water, you just got to land that thing on your kayak without any assistance.
See, I do it a little different. Like I'll hit return to home, and I know that'll get it close, and then I'll stop it from landing in the water virtually, and then I'll fly it to me, and I'll stand up and I'll grab it. Because if you grab it and then instantly turn it upside down, then it'll turn off. It'll turn off. That's one of the features if you hit a tree or something.
But the sensors, like if you don't do it quick enough, it'll just keep going up.
Yeah.
Because it knows that there's something there because all the sensors that are on it.
Yeah. Well, and mine's got a sensor too, where like if I start coming down and I have my hand up, like it'll sense my hand and it'll want to go back up. So I got to hit down again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of got a sensor to stop it from hitting things, but it doesn't always necessarily work when you're talking about twigs and things like that. But yeah, I'll bring it down and I'll land it in my hand versus like on the deck of my boat. I know Jay's done that. That just seems scary to me.
Yeah. I've done it. Yeah, that's not so bad.
I mean, drop it.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, you are paying like hella attention to batteries.
Yeah.
At that point, so I mean. It's just, I got mine to land. I got it nice and low and like with these DJIs, like you just do both toggles to the inside on the bottom, and it'll bring it down.
Yeah.
But if you get it like close enough, and you can set some of those sensors too, by the way, for the distances you want. But you can bring it down, then you just nail it down and it goes. I landed on the deck. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I've also caught it too. So if it's windy or something, I don't know if I'd try that. I'd probably just try to grab it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and hope that I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't whack your finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you've done that quite a bit too.
Not as much as Brian. No, I have like two legs on mine. So
okay.
What a lot of people don't know too is there's, at least for the Spark, there's a lot of 3D printed aftermarket parts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get, even to props. Some people, there's kinds out there that are more silent, so it doesn't sound like a swarm of bees.
Yeah.
But it's still, but anyway, there's just different, they got, stuff for the cameras. They got stuff for like when you're shipping or not shipping, just transporting. They've got for the Spark. I guess the Spark is synonymous for like when it crashes, the battery will pop off. So there's a 3D printed part that goes across the back of the battery that clips onto the legs or the arms and keeps it in place in case you do crash. There's there's all kinds of stuff. A lot of aftermarket parts.
Any aftermarket batteries?
I never looked at that.
I never did either.
Because I'm kind of surprised by the 30-minute. I thought they'd last longer.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Like, you think about it. Like, I thought the same thing. So I got the Fly More package. And typically when I'm out flying and shooting some footage, I'd be lucky to go through two batteries. That's a lot of time. Like, you got to think, like,
yeah,
when you're getting those shots, whatever it may be for, like you're usually getting a flyover shot, maybe like an overview of the body of water you're fishing, maybe a couple follow shots as you're cruising out in the water, things like that. Like you're really not going to get a ton It's more like when you're trying to shoot multiple things throughout the day.
Mhm.
I think is when you're gonna use up more juice. That's why like you get the Fly More package. Like
Yeah.
you buy a drone, it comes with one battery. If you get the Fly More package, it comes with 3 batteries, a 3-bank charger, some extra things and stuff like that. And it's well worth the extra couple of bucks. Because I typically like I'll charge all 3 batteries at once and then I'll wait till I'm like through the second one or getting on to the third one before I go plug them all in. And they charge really quick too. I forget what it is time wise, but their chargers are all USB, so you could plug it into the wall. You could plug it into like a USB charger on in your car. You can
if you had the Dakota lithium box, you could charge it on the water.
yeah, I just put a USB port in my kayak, so I got
There you go.
my 30 amp Bioenno run to that, so I could virtually charge it on the kayak if I wanted. I got USB chargers on the boat, so I could charge it in the boat. Like, there's numerous ways.
They also have a power cell 3-bank battery charger. So essentially, you have a battery that charges your batteries, kind of like what we're all talking about.
Oh,
right
that's
now.
cool.
Yeah,
But it's just for that, so you don't have to plug it in or nothing, obviously. And
right.
if you're on the go and you don't have all the other stuff that fishermen have.
Yeah, like that would be key if you were doing like overnight river trips, like multiple day trips, something like that, or you got primitive camping, right? Like, stuff like that we all do, that's where that stuff kind of plays a role. But, 30 minutes on a battery, I thought the same thing you did, Brad. Like that's not a lot, man. Like I'm not gonna, and then I flew it and I'm like, it's only been 10 minutes, I mean, I got drone clips of Jay that we use in that shaky head video, and I use part of those clips in the New Canoe intro, the New Canoe podcast intro that I do. And I mean, I think that video clip's like 8 minutes long, and I've pulled bits and pieces out of that, and it like combined, it might be a minute total of footage and 10 minutes of fly time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see where you would drain a battery. Like if you had it hovering out over the water, watching you, and you were trying to catch a fish on drone, then you would go through some juice, right? Like,
or like exploring like a river or something.
Yeah, I mean, even still, I mean, it depends how big of the river you're talking about, but still a ton of juice, man. I bet you could explore 2 miles of river on one battery.
Well, and I think too, like, when you first get a drone, you're gonna fly it a lot. You're gonna, you're excited.
Yeah.
You're gonna put it everywhere you can. And
then you get like Jay and you gotta like beg him to bring it out and film some stuff.
No, that's another argument for another day, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I know. It's been in the truck many times.
Yeah.
No, but and then I think once you get out and you're planning for a shot, there's a lot of ways, like Brian's saying, to drain those batteries, because you're gonna like be like, oh, it'd be cool if if I had this thing out and I caught a fish while I was on the yak. And you're your own cameraman, and you can do that. It'll see you do that, but you also got to catch that fish. So now you're monitoring the battery. You know what I mean? Now with Brian's, you're definitely gonna get more out of that. And I think it has something to do too with his drone being lighter than mine. But
sure.
But anything that you're gonna plan to do, you'll find yourself going through battery, like at those points. And I think most of the more experienced guys, they already know what the shot they're gonna get.
Yep.
They've already planned it out. Like you just storyboard it in your head or whatever. And then you go out and you do those shots. Because me and Brian have done that and it worked out pretty good. It's like we banged out the shots we wanted to get. Yeah. Actually, I think there's some really good ones that what were you showcasing in that one that when I was using it by your at your lake?
Oh, it was the New Canoe video when I rigged up the new Unlimited.
Yeah. So that one's really cool because I really like the coming and going shots.
Yep.
And then like kind of like where it turns to, and it watches. Like I like the perspective shots.
Yeah.
But you can do that. I mean, if, like I said, if you can get that smooth. So for me, it's a little touchy with the remote, but I like getting that real like smooth, slow turn, and like that stuff's hard to do, in my opinion. But then again, I haven't been flying like a $2,000 or $3,000 drone. It's like these are. I mean, you can get those shots, but you're gonna have to work. It's like, matter of fact, I think there's some from the Eastport one where like I really love the shot and it was going, and then you're like, oh, you're like, why did it move like that? It just drives you nuts,
Yeah.
But you'll take like 5, 6, 7 shots doing the same thing because now when you're backing up, you're like, oh, I want to do it smooth, I want to do it smooth, and you're like, oh my god, like, I mean, it just blows the whole thing, dude. You can't edit that. It's just awful.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I have a question then in regards to like the issues with the water and stuff like that. And you guys would probably know this. Like what about adding something to the drone? Like if you added foam or something on the legs, for instance, I would think that possibly is going to mess up the way it flies. So is that something that people have tried and failed miserably at?
So the Spark actually has aftermarket like legs and these like 4 balls that like they're like are floaties. So
that's cool.
You can land the drone on the water. I don't own that. I have a hard no. I don't know if I really want to be introducing water to electronics on purpose. But no, they have those. And Brad, like I sent you that link.
Yep.
So this is one I've known about for a long time. And it's called like the Splashmore the Splashmore drone. And to me, obviously with or the Splash drone, sorry. To me and any of us that are kayak fishermen, this is attractive because it's meant to go in the water. You can land it in the water. It's got a 4K, camera on it. But they're expensive. It's like a $2,000 drone.
Yeah. I got it pulled up right here.
Yeah, this one. And I liked it. It's orange because you're going to be able to see it in the water.
Yep.
Well, and not only that, but see it in the sky. Like that's the one thing. Like I think a lot of people, and I didn't realize, like all those DJI Mavics are like gray or white, and when they get up like 60 to 100 feet, like you can hardly see them.
No, yeah. Like how many times too, Brian? Have you like been like you're like, damn, like where the hell's my drone?
Yeah, so I can hear it, but I can't see it.
And you're turning it around, like looking through the screen, like where am I? Like, where is this thing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like here's what $2,000 can buy it.
Right.
You could now you don't gotta worry about water. Which would be super ideal for us, right? But at the same time, this is not a small drone.
It's the price of another kayak.
The way I looked at it was like, unless you're doing like some super high-end video work or super cinematic where you're like trying to produce everything in 4K and trying to have this high-end production, don't spend more than $800 on a drone. If it's something you're going to use in YouTube videos and social media posts and stuff like that, you're totally fine with spending between $300 and $800. I got that video pulled up that I could share with those shots that Jay was talking about, and this is with his Spark. I know I showed off the what mine could do, but
that's the other thing. You can fish with these things too.
Yeah, these like the bait release.
Yeah, you can run these things out. Like that's actually what a lot of people in the shore fish in the ocean.
The beach, yeah,
they'll fly that bait out there and drop it. Like
that's cool.
Out there.
That's cool.
And these drones are like this big, dude. This is not a small drone. I mean, it's that's a big drone.
That's about the size of a Phantom, right?
Yeah, and the controller is huge too.
Yeah.
But it can do like a million things though. That's the thing too.
Yep. That's pretty cool, man.
For $1 million.
I like
bucks.
That.
Yeah. Here, let me share this up. So this was the shots that Jay was talking about.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing this.
So I mean, it's kind of cool when you're getting shots like this, like flying by, getting like that crossfade, things of that nature coming at you.
Yeah, look at that.
Like
You're out in
Jay's just hovering and then turning the camera slowly.
Yeah,
This
that's
he's
cool.
flying over the top. I mean, there's some cool ones too where I'm standing casting. But see where that sunlight plays a difference, like that frame before, like kind of
Yeah.
drowned out the image.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, things like that. But
that was yeah.
So if I'm going down the river solo, can you is there like a feature on the drone that like follows you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
is it on yours?
Yep, it's on mine.
Okay, I don't think mine has it. I know one of the there's a YouTube channel I watch, Ghost Town
What?
Living, and that dude has a drone, and I forget the brand, but it's supposed to be one of the leading companies for the follow technology. And that dude's like ripping through the desert on his dirt bike, and that thing follows him pretty quick
That's
and avoids
cool.
like trees and stuff. I forget what brand it is, but I think it's like $1,800 or something like that. But I don't think mine has the follow me.
I don't see why it doesn't. It's more expensive than mine is, isn't it?
No, it's cheaper.
Is it cheaper? Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But
That'd
Brad,
be cool.
no, if you had that spark, you could send it out in front of you and just it'll keep that distance as you move. It'll move.
Yep.
You know,
go through riffles with it, like
oh yeah,
following you. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because it'll. I mean, you can make it like follow you, and you can do hand signals with it too. So that way, so instead of having to use like your phone, which will be hooked up to. Well, actually, you don't need to do that. You can either control it with this, or they have the DJI controllers that also incorporates this.
Okay.
And I prefer the controllers because it has a better signal and connects better. But anyway, from far away, you can do hand signals and you can control your drone.
Huh,
so you don't have, so you don't have. There are some limitations, of course, but you can get it to move. You can get it. So if you're like, okay, I got, I'm like, it looks like I'm going to the side here. I'm really in front of me. So if you got like all your shots that are like in front of you, and you're like, cool, all right, and then you get the drone's attention, and then you do like this, it'll move with your hand and stop. And then you can I think you can do some adjustments by making it go out a little bit too. But it's really better to use your phone and stuff to fine tune that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you can do all that. I mean, you could run, bike. People do it like if they're doing videos, they'll send them above their vehicle, and then they'll drive. And so, because from higher up, that drone's gonna be able to follow you still.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as you're not going faster than 31 miles an hour.
Well, at that way, you're not going to be using that sport mode. That's for sure. You know what I've always wanted to do though with the vehicle is like either come right at it, like in a video, and go above it. Which I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I'd probably crash it.
That'd be cool.
Or or if it's a truck, like go below.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Like I would spend $500 doing that. Why not?
All right, dude. I'll let you do it to my truck.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see your drone eating shit.
Oh, dude. Well, you know what?
I got 1,000 pieces, dude.
I got to get you guys with the Toyotas because my Chevy's too low.
Yeah.
Like those Toyotas are high.
Yeah, I like those shots where like you'll see guys like at the boat ramp putting their boat in or like pulling the boat out and like going down the road and like the drone follows them. Those are some really cool shots, man. I really enjoy those. Like, I mean, it's so cool. Like I said, these things are like idiot proof nowadays where like they have all these settings and you can virtually do all those shots. Like what a lot of people don't realize is those shots, you like hit one button and the drone follows you around or it circles around you or does whatever to get that cinematic feel. Whereas like back in the day, you probably had to fly a drone for thousands of hours before you got the hang of that.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's all computer or algorithm generated, so to speak. And again, like with that thing having GPS in it, it all goes off that. So
yeah, plug and play.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think one of the last questions I have here is how do you get your pictures and video off of it?
You can do it two ways.
Mm-hmm.
The card that's internal. Well, it's a micro SD card, or you can do it off your phone. Now, predominantly, you're going to get a better image off of the card that's in the drone itself, because it is still being transmitted to this. So you're going to get some loss, but you still get some really good video. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, like those
sure.
videos I played earlier of the boat. Those were transferred from the drone to my phone. Those weren't even off the SD card.
That's what I
That
was
image is
thinking.
pretty crisp. But yeah, you know, same SD card that you put in your GoPro.
I think if you're going to be doing like any serious post editing, like you're going to probably want to pull that card.
Yeah, agree.
I think the main reason I would want one is just to, put the 1 minute clips on Instagram or something like that, because I don't have a YouTube channel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, things like reels and all that stuff, man, like those. It's funny. I forget what I was just listening to, but they were talking about how, like, I think it was Peter McKinnon on YouTube, and he was talking about YouTube Shorts. And they were going through like kind of like the evolution of this video. Like when YouTube came out, people would watch, half-hour long videos of some schmo just talking about whatever or doing whatever. Now, like with the advancements in technology and everything, everybody's like short and to the point. That's why like TikTok is so big, because it's short form clips, and that's why YouTube brought in the shorts, and Instagram's got the reels, man. Like if you want to put out some cool footage, on those platforms, like that's a good way to do it, and a good way to be different, because not a lot of people are using drones.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Faux show.
Drones are cool.
I like drones.
Drones are cool. 2 thumbs up from Jay.
I'm gonna get a "I love drones" bumper sticker.
Oh god.
Yes. Just
You're gonna
the
have,
black
like,
and white.
Star Wars dorks questioning you. Like, you really like drones, though, bro? We like Jedis.
I mean, it's a unique tool, like for any kind of media stuff you're doing. Like when Jay got his, I was super stoked, because a lot of people know, like, Jay's my like go-to cameraman. He's gotten so many like great photos and videos for me over the last few years. It's been pretty awesome. But like, vice versa now, like I got into the drone. So like you're talking, Brad, like when you're running solo, you could do it. When I'm out with Jay, I could start repaying the favor of all the
I want to be on the internet more. I want to be on the internet
of all the awesome shots he's gotten to me, like we used it at Dale Hollow, like that Dale Hollow video we put out, Eastport Marina video we put out. Like we got some awesome footage from that off the drone. I think the takeoff one day when we had a tournament down there, or maybe we were out fun fishing that day with like Riser and all those guys at that one park, that ramp that we went out on the mainland.
Oh yeah.
Like you got some good footage of those guys. Yeah. Like, it's just cool. It's unique. It's different.
Wait. There was a lot of P shots that were attempted there too, wasn't there?
I think that was like at the cabin.
I thought there was that day of all of us trying to take a leak, and then all of a sudden Jay would show up with his drone.
He did get those deer that one day, and he got pretty close to them too, that were by the cabin at Eastport.
Oh, yeah,
they weren't scared of it at all.
Yeah.
No, they were like, that one was like sitting there, like it totally knew where it was too.
Yeah.
It's like, this thing sounds like a horde of bees.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know why the animal's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like a deer, the most skittish animal in the world.
Yeah.
Let a drone just fly right up to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that clip's in the Eastport video.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And that was just by accident. It was like I was getting footage, and then off to the side, those deer popped out. It's like, hey.
That's perfect.
It was crazy. A few 4th of Julys ago, took the kids out to watch the fireworks, and it was insane the amount of drones that went up.
Yeah.
Like,
it's cool.
I mean, I was like, what is that buzzing sound? And they weren't even close, dude. They were probably quarter-mile away, but there was just so many of them that it was like there was at least 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you could see all these little green and red lights everywhere. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
It's cool to see fireworks from that point of view. It's pretty
Oh, I bet.
spectacular.
I don't know if you guys saw this the other day, but the Redskins changed their football team name. Well, somebody flew a drone by their stadium and peeked in their window and actually leaked the new name like the day before they announced it. They showed the drone footage. I was like, that's hilarious.
Was it legal to fly a drone in that area? That'll be interesting if it's not.
Yeah, somebody says some deep shit.
Oh, not only are they getting a lawsuit, but they're getting whacked by the FCC.
Yeah, this makes me sad though, because like one of my favorite fishing spots is literally within like 50 yards of where small Cessnas and airplanes land on a regular basis. I mean, on a regular basis too. Yeah. Like,
you might be all right. You'd have to open up the drone app while you were in that area, or look on a map. Like in the actual app, it'll highlight it. Because I know when we were up at La Crosse and I was flying around, there's an airport up there, and it's bigger. It's more for cargo.
Yeah.
Like you were still able to fly pretty close to there, and that backs up to a spot that I like fishing all the time. I-90 crosses right over there and everything, but into Minnesota. But you just have to check it out and just be cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and you don't realize like how high 400 feet really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is super high.
Yeah.
You probably lose track of it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you can't even see it. It's just, that's when you have to use like that home feature, because especially if you get lost with it, you're like, all right, come back, and then you'll start to hear the roar. But here's the thing too, like you can fly, so 400 feet is the max. But if you go to a building, you can fly 400 feet above that building.
Yeah. The top of the building is now your ground zero.
Isn't that crazy? So if that's just like 200-foot building, you can really push it, and you can set it within the app. So in order to not go over that, even on accident, you can set your height limit at 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So never let you do it, So, but you can fly those. I mean, people have tried to like go into the next atmosphere that's up there. I mean, they've pushed those things, man.
Yeah.
That gets dangerous though. Like, I mean, there could be. I mean, if a bird can take down an engine, what do you think a
little drone could do?
Yeah. And how much trouble once they trace that shit to you, you're done. You're done, dude. Just pack up, sell everything.
Jump in the lake.
Yeah,
dude. It's like, but that's the thing. It's like, you just got to be careful. It's not like, all the stories you hear about the helicopters and all that stuff, but you just got to be careful, man. You hit a car. I mean, anything could happen. Yeah. And they say not to fly these things out of your sight. Now, is everybody gonna, do that? Probably not. I mean, because I've flown it. Mine can't really go beyond a mile and a half. But once you start getting to even a mile, they start getting like, it's like hit and miss. You'll lose. Yeah, it's really easy to lose connection. But because it is just like standard Wi-Fi. It's nothing crazy.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's most of those are Wi-Fi. I think as you get up in the better ones, it's like a better radio signal.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. It's like, just be careful with them. They're fun though. They really are. And that sport mode is like totally fun. It's just watching that thing buzz around.
Yeah. If you want to just fly around and have fun, that's fun.
It's like having a remote control car or something, dude. It's no different. Sure, it's got a nice expensive camera on there. But,
Heck, I've driven those RC cars that goes like 70 miles an hour before. That's fun.
Yeah,
I got a couple in my basement.
Those are fun.
The drone's right up your alley, dude.
Yeah,
I know. I want to check it out if you guys are going to have them at Del Hollow. I want to check one out.
Yeah,
I'll have down there. Too. Wait a minute. Does that mean you're coming to Del Hollow?
Yeah, I'm going, dude.
You're going?
Whoa. I'm going.
No. No, are you really going, or are you saying you're going and then you're not going to come?
No, I'll be there.
He's like, oh, bro, I got to remodel this.
All right, wait a minute.
I've been looking forward to it.
We're recording this, so we gotta come up with some. If Brad doesn't show, what is his punishment?
Kick me off paddle and fin.
That's not a punishment.
Yeah. His truck's gonna break down 2 days prior.
Oh, dude, I would be so mad.
Now that you said that, that's evil, dude. That's evil.
I have
truck's in the shop
issues
right now.
with vehicles all the time.
Sweet.
All
Brad's
right, man.
coming.
Let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us and talking drones.
You're welcome.
And it was a good episode. Everybody, thanks again for listening to the final cast. And we'll see you next week. See ya.
Peace.
See ya.